Every so often in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 you play a character that plays exactly how you imagine they would actually feel, and Rocket and Groot are most definitely a character like that. And what I actually mean when I say that is that they play how I imagine it would feel to play a lump of wood with a raccoon on top of it. I just really do not get them at all. Now, saying that, there has been two very good guides put out there, one by Crispin, which is a YouTube guide that I'll link to, and one by Ultimate Daz, and I believe Crispin's video actually came in the back of the written guide by Ultimate Daz. He is the Groot master. I'll be referencing that guide a lot in this video, and I'll actually put a link to it as well. And I would say, to be honest, rather than watching this video, or maybe watch it, leave it on in the background and run the ads, I would check out Ultimate Daz's written guide in the first instance. But it's Rocket and Groot we'll be checking out anyway. As mentioned, a character that's not really clicked for me, and that's the reason this guide is taking so long, but we'll do our best with it. Now, in the video, we'll talk about quick overview and his stats first. We'll then check out his abilities. We'll then have a look at his team bonuses. We'll talk about the synergy attacks. We'll have a look at the ISO 8 with a quick on him. We'll have a look at his 3 alternative costumes, and then we finish up with a quick summary. So let's jump in, and we'll start off with the overview. So Rocket and Groot are essentially two characters mashed into one, and to give Team Ninja some credit, it is interesting that they have tried to do this, but I personally don't feel they've really pulled it off. Now, what I mean when I say they're two characters mashed into one is a lot of their abilities can actually be cast independently. So you can cast an attack on Rocket while Groot is actually doing an attack as well. And this guide and the guide by Crispin and Ultimate Daz all revolve around using Groot's heavy attack, or using the heavy attack for both of them, alongside the Quantum Igniter skill at the same time. And I'll talk about that more when we do get to the abilities section. But you can see, ability wise, the tags on them. There'll be energy for Rocket and there'll be melee for Groot, so that makes sense. The hero trait is super strength, probably one of the weakest hero traits. In regards to the stats, you've got B for strength, so that will be affecting Groot. Vitality is a D, mastery is a D, so that is the one that's affecting Rocket. Then you've got resilience, durability and energy that all come in at a C rating. So that's a very quick overview. Let's go in now and we'll look at the abilities in more detail. The first ability we have here is Minefield. So this is one of Rocket's attacks. You'll throw out a series of grenades around them, and a few seconds later they explode. Now, because it does take a few seconds for them to explode, you can get a self synergy with these. So you would throw them out, and then if you follow up with We Are Groot, you'll slam the ground, and that will create a synergy attack for you there. This one, I would generally just use it to take out trash if I'm perhaps surrounded by them. The next ability we have here is Vine Whip, an ability you've seen in so many characters, where it's a series of quick, smaller attacks that do a small amount of damage, and then you've got the final hit that does more damage. Now, if you were to use this, and I wouldn't actually recommend it, then you would just tap the button just to do the animation cycle once. You don't want to continue to spam the button, you simply don't get as much damage from doing it. But what I would actually do is I would unequip this. So you go into the skills menu and you press X, and from there, if you scroll down to the bottom of the pop-up that comes up, you can then unequip this skill. Now, I'm about to tell you why you want to do that when we look at the next one. So this next ability here is the one that you will be using most often. Now, personally I feel that it's a bit of a pain to control because you can move around with Groot as you're casting it, and it makes it really hard to actually aim at enemies, and you can't lock onto them, unfortunately. Now, despite that, this is how you get the most amount of damage out of the combo of Rocket and Groot. So what you would do is you would hold down your Quantum Igniter. Because you've removed the Vine Whip ability, what you can do at the same time is you can spam the heavy attack on Groot, so you will be doing additional damage as a result of that, but most importantly you'll be regaining energy as well, which means you can hold down the Quantum Igniter for longer. So it's a bit cumbersome, but this is the way you get the most damage out of them. The final ability we have is We Are Groot. It's one we've already touched on to an extent. So when we talked about this, what you would do is you would fire out Minefield first, and then you would follow up with We Are Groot. And you can actually do really pretty decent damage. If you're ever going to use the Minefield ability, I would always follow up with this one for the synergy attack and the additional damage that you are doing. But as we mentioned a moment ago with the previous ability, your bread and butter for Rocket and Groot, really, if you want to get the most damage out of them, will be to use your Quantum Igniter and also to use the heavy attack on Groot as well. But that's all the abilities. Let's have a look at the team bonuses that are available. For the team bonuses, Rocket and Groot form part of 5 different teams. We've got Guardians of the Galaxy, of course, Ultimate Alliance 3, Marvel Royalty, where Groot, I believe, is the royalty out of the duo there. We've got the Partners, and then Wisecracking Warriors as well. Now, from a thematic perspective, the character that actually has the highest bonus, so this works pretty nice, is Star-Lord. So he overlaps into 4 different teams, so you can push the highest amount of stats team bonus wise by actually dropping him in a team with them. But that's the team bonuses. Let's have a look at the synergy attacks. For the synergy attacks, then you've got 4 different synergy traits here that can proc a different series of attacks. You've got Explosive, Beam, Slam, and also Barrage. Your Beam one can be really powerful. Beam and Ricochet style attacks always are really pretty potent. Now, we've already discussed the fact that Fire has abilities, ability 1 and ability 4, that's thrown out grenades, and then We Are Groot, you can get a cell synergy, so that is there. But in regards to the characters that he has the highest amount of synergies with, now this isn't necessarily the best synergies, it's really easy to get synergies with these characters. The top 5 are actually all on 62. I'm not going to name them, but you can see a character that appears a fair amount there would be Star-Lord, and you've got Crystal as well. So if you drop them in, they can work really nice. And of course, we mentioned Star-Lord just a moment ago for the team bonuses, so he does go really well with Rocket and Groot. Now, next up, we'll have a look at the build option that's available. Build wise then, due to the mixture of the melee and the energy tags, the build I would go for on him would be the ranged melee hybrid. So this one here, you want to go for your flat damage, so you're boosting everything. So you go for increased damage done to enemies by 16.5%. Rocket and Groot are really not great at staggering at all, so you won't be getting a lot of crits with them if you play them on their own, so you want to also go for a few of the increased crit hit chance by 8%. Finally, what I like to go for as well is increased resistance while attacking by a ton. It means when you're firing off the beam attack and slamming the heavy attack on Groot, you won't get knocked out of the beam as often, and you need to be relatively close to use that if you want to make the most of the damage via Groot, so that does work really nice, that ISO. But that's the build section, pretty simple one there. Let's have a look at the alternative costumes, and he now has 3. First costume we have here then, as always, is just a simple recolouring of the base costume. So normally Rocket is wearing the red jumpsuit, in this instance it changes to blue, so not much of a change here. In regards to unlocking this, you'll get this while you're playing through the superior story mode. The next costume we have is the Conquest look, and this one actually looks really nice because it is massively changing how Groot looks. He's not running around naked in this one. So with this, in order to unlock it, it's via the Shield Depot, and that'll be 400 of your tokens it would cost. And then we finish up with a recolouring of the same Conquest one. Now once again, this is accessible via the Shield Depot for 400 of your shield tokens. It's decent enough. This one I would like to see in a completely different colour, maybe jumping back to the red, which is similar to the original look for Rocket for his base costume. But that's all the costumes and how you unlock them. Let's finish up now with a quick summary. So I have already mentioned it in this video, but I'm going to mention it once again, that I would highly recommend checking out the video guide by Crispin R on YouTube. Once again, there's a link in the actual comments, and then I would recommend most definitely checking out the written guide by Ultimate Daz if you're looking to get the most out of Rocket and Groot. Really, without the video and the guide, I would have been completely lost on them, and I'm still not sold on them, to be honest, but their guides do make them a lot more enjoyable. But that is Rocket and Groot. We've only got 3 more guides left, so that will be, let's see, it'll be Wasp, and then it's the 2 versions of Thanos, and then that's us finished all 52 guides, so I'm almost there at last. But as always, I hope the video's been helpful. Let me know what you think of Rocket and Groot in the comments below, and thanks for tuning in, stay safe, and I'll see you all again soon.